higher vibrations, and so are you. There have been so many cool energies coming in the past little bit that a lot of people are noticing an incredible uptick in their ascension symptom experience. Ha ha, Jackie's first this time, Carmen. Hi, Jackie. Good to see you. Carmen's usually first on pretty much anything I do. So uh, this is going to be a little bit of a spiritual war in the background. I love you all. Um, so, I want to just, while people like join today, I'd like to talk about a little bit what's going on in the world of Pamela, because there's so much energy happening and so many cool things. But what I've been honored with the joy to experience and to express this past little bit, like especially the past 24 hours, is a new layer, a new level of healing the low self-worth, and kind of looking into this and seeing the layers. And it's very surprising to find how deep this really goes. And I just would like to share just briefly the thing that I have discovered. Seems contrary to what you actually would want, is talking about it. um, because the reason I don't like to talk about those types of things is that most people have a social, like, like the social foreplay, like what's it called, like this, the rules, the people are, oh, some that means we're supposed to say something nice about you now and build up your character, make you feel better about yourself. And that's not what I'm seeking. And so I typically don't talk about it. However, I'm finding that this particular level of healing the low self-worth paradigm requires just that, to speak it. And however it is that it's needed to do. We're all powerful. We're all beings of light that have come here on this mission to do this job. And what's that job? Well, is to raise the vibrational frequency of this place that we're at, right? How do you raise the vibrational frequency? Is to be happy. That's it. And something that we figured out recently is that most people, that the way that they find happiness, or what makes them most happy, is to create. And so that's why so many of us are finding like this thing happening right now. So I've seen the people join now. Let's see what some of these comments are. We have Lindsay, hello. Hi, Pamela. Sending you love too, sweetie. Welcome. Spiritual warriors here. Hello, all. Welcome. Good to see you. AL, hello. I'm not sure if I don't think you're AL rather than all. So hello, welcome. Jackie, hello, dear Pamela. Hey, sweetie. Hey, where's Carmen, right? Go get your brother. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Good to see you. Billy says, Grand Rising from New Zealand. Awesome. Welcome. Viv says, hi, Pamela. Hello, sweetie. Lindsay, what is this crazy itching? It's so intense. Okay, let's talk about that. That's actually really okay. Of course, the largest organ on your body is your skin. And so we're going to have the most variety of things happening with this. It's also like this it's the bag to your body, right? So like it's the last layer, the last part of this last physical surface and you're on your body when things are leaving your body. And a lot of us are purging. We're purging toxins that have been in our body for sometimes before we were born. I mean, I don't know if that's possible to before you're born. Being that a lot of our toxins, some of our toxins, I'd say, come from our grandmother, being that our mother had, my mother had the egg that became me in her when she was in her mom. And so all of the toxins from those three generations, yours, and at the very least, contain all of these different things that we've collected in our bodies, right? And now, our bodies are ready to transmute it, and it's doing that. We're really in a period of grand transmutation right now too. So as these toxins, a toxin is something that's not in alignment with your body, not in harmony with your body, does not mean it's a poison. Okay. And so as these things start to leave, we're finding them surfacing on our skin. We're getting this really gross, weird sweat. I exaggerate how the level of grossness of it, because I want to emphasize that this is a thing that's happening, and I don't mean to exaggerate it but there's a color and a it doesn't feel like sweat. You know that something is being moved through you on the delivery system of your sweat. So such is true also for acne like stuff. I know I've been having a lot of stuff around my third eye, but also like around my throat and the just the throat chakra rather in this area. A lot of reports recently have been coming in about people talking about this type of acne in their lower body as well, like a lot, all the way down to their ankles. It's very of a thing. And so there's also the itching. We itch when we're healing, by the way. That's just something that we've observed. It's just a regular course of the way the body works. So sometimes when we're itching, it's a good sign in that way. And sometimes it's things purging from us. So it's very interesting. Spiritual warrior. Is that a tattoo on your arm, Pamela? Yeah, it's. I actually forget that I have this tattoo. I did it to myself when I was a teenager. I got a hold of a tattoo gun and I was going to make a business and stuff. Back then I was quite the artist. Anyway, yeah. And so I forget I even have it until someone notices it. It's not the best looking one. Vegan Vixen, hi everyone. Didn't get the notification again. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm sorry you didn't get the notification. I'm glad you're able to join. Lauren says, hello, Pamela. Hello. Bob Wilson, yo, hey, Bob's going to be my guest on my show in an hour. Bob and Elsa Dillon. It's going to be a fun conversation. I'm going to see if I can get Todd to join in on the conversation for a minute, but I think he's been going full speed ahead today, so he might not, but it's going to be a beautiful conversation. We do this through the Soulgy Network platform, soulgynetwork.com. However, I do believe this is the last week for all of the shows on the Soulgy Network platform to air on social media. So today, for instance, today will be the last day that I think I'm going on social media today. I think it'll be the last time that this happens. And then after that, every fourth show will be free. So you can go to the network. Even if you haven't subscribed, it'll be free. You can go and see it every fourth episode. It'll be kind of fun to check that out. But we always have some really amazing guests on there. It's really fun. Beautiful people. Vegan Vixen, so much love to you all. Oh, I love you. Sam says, hey, yo. All right, so let's talk about some of these Ascension symptoms. It's so good to see. Yeah, did I freeze? Sorry about that. I froze. Hello. Yeah, frequencies. Okay. So let's just move down the body. There's the headache stuff, but for me, I'm not really getting it's not like a real headache. When I start to get this headache, I'm finding that it's also getting to the point where it's right before the ear thing starts happening. The ear ringing is like a new thing again, right? Not a new thing, but it's coming back in a way that it feels new because of the intensity of it, as well as some of the types of tones that we're getting. I love it when they come in when there's so many different tones at the same time. It's very beautiful. It's like a chorus, and we're reaching up into these frequencies. And so that's just been something I've been getting them in a different way, as well as a lot of this, like needing to pop your ears. You're like, oh, I just went up and I haven't acclimated to this new altitude, like you're summiting a mountain kind of an idea. Then, like underwater muffled hearing. So the headache stuff I'm noticing are specific to areas of my body or areas of my head that are needing a specific kind of purging. It'll move systematically around. A lot of people talk about this, say it's like a band. It's like a headband. Like sometimes it's like this side or this side, but a lot of people are talking about this right now again. Okay. And so something's going on with my voice. It's just getting lower and lower the more that I talk. Hey, it's 12:12. And so there's just often these headaches I'm finding, they're very intense, but short-lived. They only last like for a second, and so I couldn't really call it. I couldn't really compare it exactly to a migraine-like headache due to the fact that it's just so brief. Here's another one that I've been really dealing with too. So let's talk about this. Thank you, Adrienne. I have no appetite. All I want to eat is fruit. Yeah, I've been really not at all, not even my favorite, like, I mean, things that you just normally wouldn't decline, I'm just really not into it, like, at all. And that's okay. I've come to the point where I've learned to listen to my body. My body will guide or your body as well, guides you and tells you what it is that it wants or doesn't want. For how many years did we just take an antacid, or did we just, you know, this is we'd complain about a symptom and everybody's like, oh yeah, me too, and then that just move on, and now we're like, oh wait, maybe we should just stop doing that, and um, a lot of us are doing other kinds of things that's really fun, like when we're cooking or purchasing um, um, ingredients for our meals, we're noticing an interaction with our food. You're asking our body, do you actually want this? And giving it a voice. One of the, I would say, above all else, um, the for the main thing that a lot of us are learning through is to listen to our body and build a rapport, being that our body's kind of like a neglected child. All of these years we just said, oh, just be quiet, and here, have an antacid. You know what I mean? And like, I remember joking to somebody one time. I was like, I am so thirsty, I need water so bad. And then I would torture my body with like a powdered donut, like, because I was, that kind of a person. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is not just me. I know this. A lot of us don't really listen to our bodies. And so now our bodies are starting to, um, as we're listening, it's learning to trust us and to communicate and to develop a communication that we understand, being that previously a lot of us have assigned diagnoses or other kinds of medical related words to our body saying, don't put that in me, And so it's just something to consider. And so right now, a lot of us are going through a no appetite period, and I just left um, like big, like I was eating a lot more than normal period. And now I'm into this, fasting window. Um, Something I've noticed that also, just to add to this before I move on, is a lot of us don't realize that we don't have to have as many meals in the day as we've been taught. Um, it took me quite a few years to realize or to allow myself to not have to eat breakfast specifically, because it's the healthiest meal of the day. Turns out that was actually a propagandized commercial by a dry, cold cereal company. But I believed it, and so I was like, I gotta eat breakfast, right? I gotta be healthy. And then I would just be sick, until like 10 o'clock, sometimes not till noon. That's when lunchtime rolls around, and then anyway, so I stopped requiring my body to have breakfast. And guess what? I felt great, got so much done in the mornings, didn't, and then slowly that's turned into, I don't like lunch either. Sometimes I'll eat it though. That's another point. You can change your mind. Your body changes its mind based on a variety of factors. It's not even really changing its mind. It's just, you know, information has changed. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that, Adrienne. Okay, so I think this is a private conversation, so I'll probably pull that off. But yeah, so this has just been okay. So let's move back down some more down the body. So we're having a lot of blisters in the mouth. People calling them canker sores. Kind of, for me, my thing, and I keep feeling like it has to do with hydration. Like my body's just requiring so much more hydration right now. But I feel like anyway, my tongue is doing this weird thing. It almost feels like it's burned a little bit, and it's also very inflamed. This has been happening on and off for about 2 months, and it's just back. I'm not doing anything weird, guys. I don't like swallow fire or anything like that, but yeah, it's a thing. So, hey, Kylie, I love you too. Happy you're able to join us today. Deb, hello, sweetie. Just can't keep my eyes open, like complete silence, lots of sleep. Yeah, I don't know how many of you caught that, the Trinity transmission, or I can't. I think the show's called Trinity Show, But in my head, it's Trinity Transmission Thursday, TTT. It's just like really. But anyway, that whole show, and we talked for like almost 3 hours. I didn't need to go to sleep, but my eyes did not want to be open. And I didn't want to be like that asshole that was like, I'm just going to be here while you're talking, but like, wow. And that's usually when a big download's coming in, is your eyes just need to be closed, and if you're not in the position where you're on a live or something, where you're at work or something, and allow yourself to have a closed eye here and there, it's really useful to like help those downloads come in. We're getting a lot of downloads right now. Holy cannoli. Jackie, woke up about 1 a.m. and my nightshirt was soaked with sweat. Had to change it. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah. You actually had something very similar. It was such a weird night last night. I was like, yay, I'm going to go to bed early. I've had a very transformative 24 hours of healing in this self-worth paradigm. It's been really an activating, beautiful experience. And I'm still kind of wonky right now. I'm sure you guys can tell that I'm just kind of like trying to remember where the ground is. So like there's a place to stand kind of a thing, but it's been a very beautiful, impactful experience, which led to me getting to go to bed before 3 a.m. And then I was back up again, and it just took just 2 hours later. And this is something that's just been happening for me, is I'm only getting a very a small amount of sleep. And then all of a sudden, though, this sweating that's occurring, it's another part of this purge. There's some other purging that's happening. A lot of people, just today and yesterday, for those of you who have been emailing me and messaging me and stuff, I want to give you my apologies and say I love you. It's gotten to be so out of control. I don't know if I'm going to be able to respond to everybody. I don't typically use Facebook Messenger, and so this has gotten to be a very overwhelming place for me to go, because there are so many messages that I just don't have the time to click, so, and if you do want to message me, please use Telegram or email. It's more likely that I'll be able to respond to you in that format. Messenger on Facebook is, I honestly, I only go there to Messenger Elsa and Todd, like nobody else. So I love you. I do. I just don't plan to, that's when I'm on Facebook, I can hear the frequency. And so it's really hard to read the messages. Like, cause you go kind of sound in the frequency the whole time. So you're like, and you're trying to read what's there. And it's just, you feel like you're 5 trying to remember how to read, like, so anyway, those are my apologies. So I'll do my best to get to you all. Anyway, yes, let's go back to this. So we're purging a lot of this stuff. And so as we're purging it, one of the things that people have been talking about, is this, IBS like symptoms, like a lot of people are talking about it. So that's another part of purging right now. Just stay hydrated, but, drink water. Robin says she just got over the virus. Turns out that nicotine patch works, FYI, 72 hours. Awesome. Congratulations. I'm happy to hear that you're doing well. Let's see. I've kind of gotten a hello. Oh, I think I just saw some. Hello, Ernestine. Where'd you go? I lost her. It's always good to see you. For those of you who haven't had a chance, Ernestine here has some really amazing frequencies that she puts out. She's got a variety of different methods of bringing a melodic, peaceful, like sound bath, I think is what she's calling it now. So check it out if you get a chance. Hey, there's Carmen. Okay, wait. There's something, sibling rivalry has begun. So Jackie was first this time. Carmen has never not been first. I was first, Jackie, just didn't comment. I love you. Oh, that's so fun. That's something else I wanted to tell you guys about, is that there's been some last night. I don't know how else to say it, guys. But so I'm just going to say what it feels like and use your own words, okay? But last night, Jesus landed. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, you know it's Jesus energy because as soon as it comes in, all of a sudden your chin feels like it's laughing, before your body, even when you're like really sad. I've had some really deep, some depression-like moments in my life when Jesus came in, and even in those depths, you feel this, I want to look, the deep belly laugh kind of come on your chin. Only this one, it was like deep, like really, really profound and long lasting. And then, like, I I would say that one of my biggest motivations in life is to laugh. Like, that's my goal. And laughing with other people's even better. Like, that's the shizat right there, And um it became so, even so, last night when this Jesus energy landed, anchored, or became, or it's as if it became the fiber, part of the fibers that it already was, but just more, I don't know. Um, it became so much more easy to laugh. And I was just laughing and laughing all through the evening and night, and also doing some really deep, profound healing. I had some communication with a few different people, for two different people, and I kind of feel like maybe they thought that I was depressed because I was just like, well, let me show you myself while I'm laughing. I'm over here laughing because um it was, you know, release. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it was pretty amazing. Yeah. So Stacy says, yes, about the sweats, the fire sweats. Hi, Stacy. Good to see you, sweetie. We also have another comment from Matthew. Stacy, yes. I think he was commenting about something she might have said earlier. Does anyone else, here we go. Does anyone else have tightening inside intestines like they are being stretched inside? Yeah, this is actually, that's a very good description of what a lot of us are going through right now. It's a different kind of purge, all right. That's for certain. Yeah. So, and then this started for me like 2 weeks ago, and then it went away. I thought where I didn't go, I guess go away was, I feel like I purged through it or whatever. Gosh, I'm so sweaty. And so, but yeah, I was really uncomfortable, and you know, TMI. If anybody doesn't like to hear about cycles, close your ears for a second. Like, it was activated by a lot of this, the last of the 4 super moons in a row, the full moon. My cycle got stuck back on that again. And so there was just this weird, a lot of people since then, not just on that day, but since then have reported that their cycles have changed. So that's just something else to consider. Remembering this area of the body we're talking about. In fact, I do believe that Elsa Dillon, when we were doing our Trinity transmission Thursday, or Trinity show, it's called Trinity Show. But she had mentioned that this intestine is the heel, and we talk about healing and all of these different like codes and symbols. So any of you who didn't catch that episode, I'll post it. I don't think that I showed the YouTube family it in my community section, so I'll do that when I'm done with this live today, so you guys can go find it. It was a really awesome conversation. I was having some spiritual dope at the moment. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to talk. And then Todd's like, hey, everybody, I don't think I'm going to be able to talk because I'm exfoliating. And I'm just like, oh, Shazam, what are we going to do? And yeah, I just did all kinds of, wow, it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy time. All right. Let's see. I'm grabbing somebody random. Supernova, dizzy and exhausted. Yeah, let's talk about this. Thank you. Feeling better each day. Me too. Oh my goodness, this weird dizziness. I don't even feel like I can call it dizziness because there's there's stuff added to it. It's like packed full. It's like, here, have a side order of this and some of that. But like this vertigo, lightheadedness, disorientation, I find is associated with it. Like, I'm finding that I'm like, my equilibrium's off. It's a lot of different layers. It's not simply dizziness for me. And usually there's like the light's changing, you're noticing that light's brighter now, and it's like, why is it so bright? And like, different things. Like, I didn't realize there were so many colors that were like floating around before. Just a lot of weird things like this. So let's go back really quickly before I forget to. So the area of the stomach, the esophagus, the stomach, the liver, um, down into like the bladder area, and also these intestinal areas. So we're talking about, essentially, we're talking about, your heart chakra, your even some of your throat chakra, all the way down. So let's look at those chakras, right? These are the chakras that are being healed. And so depending on where you are, for those of you who are familiar with the Dolores Cannon and her 3 waves of volunteers, there was a call that went out, of like, hey, we need some volunteers to these light seeds, star seeds, to come down and be part of this mission. And everybody who raised their hand, out of everybody, because everybody raised their hand, out of everybody who raised their hand, like one in like a trillion got picked because they were the most, able and experienced. We were all the same being. We were all the same everything. It's just those particular aspects had experiences. You are those particular aspects had experience with ascending planets before, and so we were picked. And then of those that were picked, there were 3 groups, and they were called the 3 waves, in based on Dolores Cannon's reference to it. And so that first wave, those first wavers, will be like the in retirement age at this point, like into their even into their 90s, I believe. I can't remember. I would, if for those of you who aren't familiar with that, please do an internet search, Dolores Cannon, and there are 3 waves of volunteers. It's really useful to know. I know because I was born in 79, and based on when I was born, I'm considered a second waver, but the way that spirit blends everything, there's never a clear stop and start. There's always this blending period in the middle that technically I think I would be considered both. Even though I think that window closes in 1969, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. Anyway, so depending on what wave you are, you'll notice the different area of your body. Okay, so for the first and second wavers, most of us are noticing like this lower abdomen. You're noticing like the sacral and the solar plexus chakras specifically. Though the past day or two, we're having a lot more of this root chakra activation. So, a lot of times when the root chakra comes in, it's like it needs to purge, to release, but also there's this reminding us to connect to that our bodies needed these minerals. My neck has been really itchy like the past 2 days, and it's not like I have any kind of bumps or acne there, but right here, it's weird. It's usually when I'm trying to make it. I tried to record a video yesterday, and I got stopped 5 times. It's just like, so sorry guys. Anyway, so how do we heal this? How do we help ourselves to understand this stuff? What's actually going on? Well, first of all, let's talk about the liver very briefly. And this is a really common thing. This is the area that translates anger into a language that those of us who all are speakers of love can understand. And that was a way that it was translated. This is my word. I'm replacing a word from spirit because I don't understand why they're using the word that they're using right now. But it's like to translate or to even digest. Well, now we're leaving behind this frequency where it's dominated by this fear paradigm. And so there's no longer such a need for it. Fear, I go back to fear when I talk about anger all the time, being that anger is the next step from fear. Fear is the first of that step. There's fears on the other way on the other side of the spectrum, and love is over here, right? That's the spectrum. And so right after fear is anger. And so we have learned now we no longer need these things. And so our bodies are purging them. And so a lot of people are noticing a lot of liver activity. And if nothing else, a lot of people are noticing this Buddha belly. Okay, so their belly's swelling. There's a little bump. It's just like an early pregnancy almost, or like, a food baby. I remember people used to say that. Anyway, so there's a bump. A lot of people are having this kind of thing happening. And not to be alarmed. Remember that light naturally wants to flow where water does. Okay, right? Because water and light belong together. They belong together. Water and light together make soul. Like water and light also create, like if it's required for things to grow, but they also make soul. It's a different thing I'm trying to explain here. And therefore, wherever water is, light wants to go to. they're drawn to one another. They, you know, I won't go into this long story. So then, anyway, it's so therefore in our bodies we notice that the area that needs to be healed needs the healing at that time will collect water. Sometimes we call it swelling, our body's swelling, because we're our water's collecting in a specific area, so the light has a place to be within, to exist in, right? And then we usually put our hand in the place where it's hurt, and so then we draw our intention to it. We're drawing our water and we're sending our light frequency to it. The way that we resolve all of these issues has always to do with light. And so same is true for this belly. A lot of people are having this swollen belly thing, so just wanted to talk about that. All right, I've gotten way behind on everyone's comments, so let's just jump ahead a little bit here. We have Stacy. She says, bladder feels pinchy too. Yeah, I've actually noticed that. That's been a very weird thing. I agree. There's some weird stuff with this purging that a lot of us are noticing. Just remember to drink extra water if you have a chance. Squidgy nuisance to AI. Someone got Dolores Cannon on loop live on YouTube. Was watching her for hours yesterday. Oh, cool. That's fun. That's pretty neat. So we got a comment in the sky. Lots of crows and ravens cawing when I see them. Cool. They appear to look at me and then often fly away. Thoughts? Been happening for 2 years or so. Yeah. So this is a really good question to have a long conversation about. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, but briefly, you have a lot of Odin symbolism, you have magic, you have a lot of this divine seeing in both realms. How the way that the eyes work, and the magic of the shadow of it being able to disappear and return, and there's a lot to it. For me, the crows always line up on the telephone poles. I don't think people use telephones anymore like that, but whatever, I guess electric poles, the line in between, I'll always get like a whole row of crows, no matter where I've lived in the world, and just staring at my residence and cawing right before a really important, impactful moments in my life. Lots of really powerful spiritual. The first time I met Jesus, just all these different things. It's always to do with crow. Crow beckons in the moment, and just something that happens. So it's really cool that you have these. It feels to me this is a very magical collective, that all animals are of a higher frequency than we give them credit for, and they often are delivering wisdom of the sages to us. And so looking up a further explanation on what crows and or ravens mean by doing a quick internet search, you can write what is the symbolism of, and fill in the animal blank, or you can say what is the totem for, or even like raven totem, in the internet, and it'll tell you about it. Nana says, hey Pamela, on Zoology Show you mentioned something about the left hand and ring finger. Could you speak more about that? Sure, I'd be happy to. It's really cool. So the left hand, this is everybody knows that the hands and feet are really, really important. They're really powerful, a lot more powerful than people give them credit for. They're just kind of, however, the divine feminine hand, the left hand specifically, has a higher frequency. There's something about this hand that you're able to do spiritual things with this hand easier, just how it works. And then more specifically, the ring finger on this hand, you can just feel the frequencies, the higher frequencies. It feels the higher frequencies first and stronger. You'll notice that sometimes it'll be like twitching or even vibrating when there's something to be done. Like all of us are some type of worker. Worker's not the right word, like I don't, it's play what we do, right? It's not really work. So anyway, what am I trying to tell you is that this is I'm sorry, there's so much to say about it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this topic. Maybe I should do a video about this, about hands, because the whole art of palmistry and the understanding and the way we hold our hands and the mudras, the way that you hold your hands in meditation really change a lot about the experience that you're having. A lot of people will do certain, you know, move their fingers in certain ways and do stuff. What I tend to do is I put the soles of my feet together while I'm sitting on this chair. I put the sole of my feet together, and then I'll also put the palms of my hands together in meditation. However, and that's usually because I'm doing something. This is me collecting the energy to help somebody else. However, there's a lot of mudras. There's a lot of things about hands, and so to answer the most clearly is that if you are doing things in the spirit that require that you use hands or fingers, and you want to be the most confident, this is the one to do it. Like if you're picking a card, if you're trying to sense spirit, if you're trying to ask for spirit to engage with you, a lot of time you can ask them to move this finger in a certain way. You could say, twice for yes, once for no, or kind of thing. These things actually, it's just kind of fun. Anyway, that's a very in-depth conversation, Nana, and I really appreciate that you brought it up. However, I don't feel like I can go into it as in-depth as I'd like to. Thank you for your question. Jasmine says, hi, Pamela. Hi, everyone. Hi, sweetie. Purging symptoms here, lots of them. At the same time, I'm laughing a lot with friends and focusing on healing power of positive emotions. Beautiful, beautiful. Good job. That's exactly right. That's what we're all guided to do right now. And this is a really beautiful time to do it. Having these higher frequencies that just came in. It's funny to try to remember what it was like to feel sad, because it's not easy to reference anymore, which I find that I've been trying harder and harder to remember what it's like to be sad the past, since last night. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to make myself sad. I'm fascinated by the fact that it's so far away from my experience now. Kylie, the dizzy, weird feeling of being separate from my body and unsteady. It's becoming becoming few and far between. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this feeling separate from your body, a lot of us are now being drawn right back to come back into our bodies more than we were before. And so I get exactly what you're saying, and it's cool that it slowly fades away, though. While we're having it, it's useful to know that there's nothing wrong. You're fine. The thing that I find to happen the most is that when I'm out walking around, that's when I get the most grounding, is when I'm just wandering and just walking around. I'll go for walks and stuff, and and when I'm doing that I'll notice that at my hip or at my waist, or just above my waist, it feels like my body, my legs are just going from walk to all of a sudden I have my legs sticking straight in front of me. It's really kind of an uncomfortable sensation. And then just reminding yourself to go back into your body and just be in your body. It's difficult to be in these different frequencies at the same time. We have some really cool frequencies here right now. And so I'm happy to hear that you're feeling better and that it's becoming easier to do. Stacy says, I spend the whole day trying to heal my pain. Takes over now, even though it's upgrades and won't go. Laugh out loud. Yeah, doesn't need as much focus as we're giving it, I would say. Maybe, at least my experience, I've noticed that for me, that there's been this, I feel like we're trying to heal and trying to heal and trying to heal, and what we're kind of being asked to do is to purge and to play. It's to purge and play, and in the in between the purge and the play, we're knocked on our ass. If you love Dolores Cannon, you may or may not be familiar with Jane Roberts' Seth Speaks. Amazing book. Thank you. That's useful to know. Carmen says, hello, Carmen. Kylie, I had that 2 years ago, like you're high on drugs. Ha ha ha. Like your feet are floating. Yeah, exactly. And just you can't ground. It's funny. My totem, the medicine that I have below me, that's supposed to ground you, is the eagle. The highest flying bird of all is what is the medicine that comes to me to help me ground. Yeah, it was. Oh, that's just so ironic, right? Or I don't know. Spirit's hilarious, real truly. About wild animals, this spiritual word. They always approach me. A chipmunk came right up to me, one one from my feet, one foot away from. Oh wait, sorry. There you go. I just saw your correction. One from 1 foot away from me. He was so curious about my aura. That's really cool. I'm noticing this too. A lot of us do. It's kind of one of those, you know, uh, if you resonate with 5 or more of these things, you're probably an empath kind of things, is that animals follow you around. I get animals all the time. I have some in the house, in the apartment sometimes, and like, dude, if the landlord found out. I don't do it on purpose. He just comes in. He's really cute. But yeah, I'll go for walks and then look down the hill, because we're on a really hilly area. We'll look down and there'll be a whole row of cats like all lined up. Hey, there's 111 people watching from both YouTube and Facebook right now. 111. And so same. I think this is really common. These animals are coming to us to tell us something too. So if you have a chance, take a moment. If you don't want to look it up, think about what it means to be a chipmunk. What do chipmunks do? They are the ones who plant. They collect the seeds and stow away for later time. But then they also are the ones that they don't go back for. I think they only go back for like a third or less of the seeds and nuts that they had stored away in the earth and that planted those. They are the gardeners of the world. There's a lot to them, so you can look it up. It's really cool. Hello, Mother Nature. What's with all the itching? My ears, neck, and top of my head itching like crazy. Last night I took Benadryl to calm it down. Yes, this is really a thing. I'm too. Me too. I am too. I'm too. It's just, and for me, it's like my face the most, and like my neck, and yeah, the ears. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the ears the past little bit. We're being meant to. There are some higher frequencies that are audible that are being made available, and so a lot of people are getting an upgrade with their ears right now. That's cool to know. I like learning new stuff too. Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I'm having these. Oh, I didn't mention it earlier today in this episode about the hearing. Wow, it's really cool. Yeah, like last summer, I think it was, I started to be able to hear the rays of the setting sun, and they sound like angelic voices in harmony. Like, I mean, a chorus though, like really beautiful. The setting sun every day, every time now. It's really cool. And I'm not the only one. Once I said something, it's been cool to have these Zoom groups where people are like, oh wow, yeah, me too. And the meetings and stuff that we have are really neat. If you do get a chance, oh guys, thank you for understanding, by the way. I could not cope to be doing a group yesterday, Friday rather. Some really cool downloads came in starting on the day I was born. Right? I mean, like it's hard to time stamp any of these things that are happening, because truly, if you look at it in the anyway, Thursday was when it really started to hit me, and then I, like an hour later or 45 minutes later, all of a sudden I'm live with Todd and Elsa. I was like, okay, and just had a lot happening. So words, guys. Okay, this is the biggest thing I'm struggling with right now, and I'm just going to say this very quickly, is that using the verbal language to communicate is becoming more and more difficult, because the way that spirit communicates is so much easier. They send parcel of information to you, and it's like, and it pops and unravels. It pops in a good way, like it's like bloop, like a flower, and then you're like, oh cool, that's a lot of neat stuff, and you go back and forth, and it happens really fast. And then when we're talking, it's like, and then there was a time when there, and so it takes forever. And by the time that I'm done, explaining what I'm about to say, I'm already over it. I've already explored every nook and cranny of that subject. And now I'm over here. And it's like, great. Now I got to go back over there and talk about this thing that I've already talked about for like 8 hours, it feels like, but I haven't even said it yet. So it's like I'm really having a hard time finishing a thought out loud, and it's just, oh, it's kind of funny. So it's just something that's happening. This is a fun little comment. I'm really happy that Christina. Hi, that just reminded me. What is the connection between mosquitoes, DNA, and dragonflies? This is a fun question. Thank you for asking this. Yeah, so for a long time, I've been wondering, and they never really gave me an answer why mosquitoes exist. There's a lot of stories and stuff that go along with it. My grandfather told the story about motivation in the buffalo and how migration started and stuff. It didn't ever make any sense. And so finally, I brought that story up again to my daughter recently, and they were like, they showed me why. Okay, so the mosquito takes your blood, and then the dragonflies eat the mosquito. And it turns out it's true. The dragonflies eat like 100 mosquitoes a day. That's like their main food, their main resource. And this DNA that is then going into the dragonfly then activates the dragonfly in order to harmonize the frequency within your biosphere. Biosphere and a close, circumference to your body, your physical form. And then we have layers of your biosphere that goes out and out, right? And it's this whole thing about how they generate the frequency and stabilize it for you and create balance and just bring in what is needed. It's kind of like a heart monitor. It's like a heart monitor for spirit. And so then whatever is needed in frequency for you, then it'll be brought to you. And it's a whole thing. And that the story went on even further to explain that the dragonfly is actually truly an offspring or a family line of dragon itself, which I found to be very fascinating. And I found some really amazing stuff about that. So thank you for asking that. Yeah, it's just so it's really cool. And so, I mean, I'm not gonna be outside and be like, bite me, sucker, but I know I'm not wanting mosquitoes to bite me. However, I see their use at this point. And then I went on to have a conversation with Mosquito, and since then I haven't been bit. We've had this huge, like, infiltration of these big giant mosquitoes in this area this summer. And after I had a conversation with them, I was just like, I won't smack you if you don't bite me. The end. And they stopped biting me. I didn't want to hit them. Just, ow. Anyway, Jackie, I like that. Purge and play. Yeah. If anyone does want to ask a question, hello, I see that someone said they wanted to ask a question. Just type it in. And if I can see it, then it pops up when it's supposed to, I guess. Please, I encourage anybody to have any questions, please comment. Leah says it's about time you took some time out for yourself. You look fabulous. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. I feel a lot better. I really needed to just be like, you know what? We're going to take a break for a minute and just not. Malik says, I think that I said your name right. If I haven't, please feel free to correct me. I've just come back from holiday. I got bitten by mosquitoes. Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff that you can get that activation wise from mosquitoes. It's really useful. Pamela says, Miss G, how can I find out the significance of my birthday? Everyone comments on it because it's 7272. Your thoughts or any reputable website you could recommend. Yeah, so willowsoul.com, I believe. I'm gonna look it up on my phone because I have confidence that I can tell you for sure. There's a lot of cool significance about numbers, and yes, it is willowsoul.com. I'm going to type it in right here. I whoops, I almost wrote something completely different. I find it useful to go and to see what some of these numbers mean, just because, oops, Did I get it? I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. I'll go back to you. I just want to show this. This is the website. So this is one of the places I go to find out information on numbers. That's really a cool birthday. I agree. So sevens have a lot. Why is that sevens? I feel like I'm should encourage you to explore this further because there's a lot of symbols and stuff that I'm aware of with some of those. However, I can tell you one thing is that when there's a repeating number, it always increases its powerfulness of it. I'm not really a numerology person. I'm along for the ride, and I'm like, whoa, cool. And like some things mean. So for me, what a numbers progression would mean is different than maybe what it might say on this website that I just gave you, for instance. Even though I love this place, like if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, that's progression. That's like keep going. But sometimes it means something else. I had something else happen last night. You just reminded me of it. It was really cool. A lot of you get Sandalphon translations or messages that come in, you don't even know it. Our Archangel Sandalphon is a beautiful, beautiful energy that comes in and encourages us to play, to dance, and to sing music. Very melodic archangel, and very strong energy. I had gone to bed relatively early. It was before 3:00, which was for me. Yay! Like I've got to bed before 3:00. I don't remember when it was. However, I woke up with a bang song in my head. It's the final countdown. Those words. It's the final countdown. But the actual song, I'm just like, full on stereo, and I was just like, holy cow. And I turned and I looked, and it was 3, 2, 1. And so it's just something that it's kind of fun, and so there's something that landed this morning and last night, and we had it's very good. We had some of these highest, some of the measurement of higher and lower. I don't care for it. However, these frequencies that are just so beautiful, were able to come in, and it changed us in a lasting way. I don't know if you all really fully realize that the moment that we're standing in right now is the most epic moment, and that we're actually here. Like there are no more ways to possibly ignore that. This is the visions we've been getting. This is the prophecies we've been hearing. These are the moments that we've been waiting for lifetime upon lifetime. Right now, we're actually here. And we're finding that, we're road worn as we get here. And so there's some healing, and there's some things to look at. There's some need to purge. So it's okay to be in this space of taking in these higher frequencies and not feeling like there's some reason to decline due to your own humanness. And so we are here. Spend time in nature, in meditation, engaging with others around you, participating in this love frequency in whatever way you can, hugging others, allowing ourselves to spend more time in this frequency than a lot of times we feel like we have to cut it. Oh, I should go do this and that and everything, and we cut it short. Allowing yourself excuse me. There's some serious throat chakra that's been going on since I joined today. It's really crazy. So yeah, Colin says hi, hello, welcome, good to see you, glad you could come. Let's see, we have another comment over here. Young Neff 48. I don't know if I said your name right. Has anyone else been wide awake in the middle of the night? Yeah, actually, that's just what I was kind of talking about. Was that at 3, 2, 1? Bing. It's different. It typically ends up being 3, 3, 3. That And lately it's turned into 444. And this has been kind of fun to watch this transition into the fours from the threes. And, as we all know, we're leaving behind a lot of this awesome Trinity stuff so we can go into the next step, where, what we are doing, most references, when most energies, most spirit energies, most frequencies like this that come in, they talk about octaves. But when they talk about octaves, they mean stairs, steps on a stairway. And this stairway that we're on, it's like all of a sudden it turned into one of those, like when you go to the city and you go to the mall, what's it called? Escalator. It's like stairs turned into an escalator. But you're like, whoa, you have to hold on because it's like your packages are like flying behind you. That's what it feels like. Like, hey, it's 1, 2, 3, or there's 1, 2, 3 people here. And so it's just allowing yourself to be okay with finding out who you are. Most of us have been using these other types of criteria to describe the embodiment of the human that you are, the Pamela that I am, as an example of being somebody who I've spent a good portion of my life devoting around 50% of my effort that I put into pretty much anything that I do is put into lowering my own importance, not showing my importance. And it's not even about other people. It's that I'm been telling myself that I'm not, and important meaning useful, that we are all the same energy. We are all soul. We are all from the same frequency. We are all fingers on the same hand. We are all this same hand. And as we kind of are able to raise into these higher frequencies in these moments, then we realize that that doesn't just mean that everybody around you are able to, but that also means that you too are the embodiment of these ascended masters, of these even religious icons, that we are all, the Mother Marys, the Josephs, the Jesuses. We are all Neo. We are all the chosen ones. And as we get to this place, allowing yourself to be okay with not getting an ego trip about it, about, oh no, I'm not good enough, or I'm not, that's when I talk like that, by the way, I'm echoing my thoughts, and so the way that I've been speaking to myself historically. And so I'm not intending in any way to tease or to diminish someone else. This is me teasing myself when I speak that way. But yeah, allowing yourself to be as powerful as you are. It's pretty cool. AL said lots of downloads during my sleep. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of downloads lately, like nonstop. I've run out of notebooks. I started stealing my daughter's notebooks. So anyway, there's so much going on. I just love you all so much. And hey, it's 101. Elsa Dillon and her 1010111. She pointed something really fun out. I always do LOL, LOL, LOL. Like that's just I type the way I talk. So sometimes it looks probably kind of not that beautiful too, because I'm just like, sorry, laugh out loud. They kind of do. I think it kind of takes away from the I'm apologizing. I'm not apologizing anyway. Yeah. I write the way I talk. And it's funny, she pointed out the code of that, the Odin code. It's pretty cool. Speaking of, I do need to get going because Elsa Dillon and Bob Wilson and are joining me on Soulology today in an hour, well, in 59 minutes or so. And we're going to have a great conversation. We're going to talk about a lot of really awesome things. And so if you're able to, please join us. And those of you who joined me live today and shared in your comments, thank you so much. Thank you for joining and thank you for speaking up. This is how I started it too. There was a channel, Guardian of Orion, who's now Jay Zoltan, who on Mondays would do a live every day at the time that I'm doing a live right now. And when he I would look forward to it all week. And then at the I would get on the chat and I'd start talking to my friends, and then we would exchange email addresses and stuff, and I got to finally tell my truth. I got to speak my truth and talk about what's going on, and so doing it on these platforms and stuff is it's just really useful. Connect with those around you. There's a Telegram group that we have that is free, of course, that there is in the description of this video. Click on it in my YouTube channel. Click on it, and you'll find a group of over 400 people from all around the world that connect and talk, day and night. There's lots of different categories and things, and this is a way to be able to find your soul tribe and to have someone to talk to practice using this throat chakra. And so there's also, I know that Todd Medina and soulogynetwork.com are accepting more people to do shows on this network. It's really a beautiful place to be able to activate your throat chakra, to create, and to be able to be in the flow of the spirit energy that's coming through. Being connected to groups and things like this, just even a little bit, helps the things move through a lot easier. As they connect to us, then we can connect to them more readily. So I thank you all for joining today, and those who are watching on replay, thank you for joining. Vegan Vixen, thank you so much for saying this. Hit the like button if you get a chance. I love you all so much, and just hang in there. We're got some cool frequencies coming in. As you all know, this is an incredible month of a lot of stuff. I knew a year ago we were going to have two eclipses this month, and I just forgot. And now all of a sudden everybody's saying something about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got a solar and a lunar eclipse this month. We have a Friday the 13th coming up on Friday. We have, anyway, lots going on. Stay grounded, stay in love and gratitude, and know that you're not alone. Join us, participate. Come to the Friday Zoom meetings where it's free. Groups of us get together and just chat. You're not alone. You're not crazy. You're in ascension. I'm sending you so much love. Aho.